Hey folks, my name's Noah Lynch, and you're listening to the Slawcast.
Down in Arkansas, they serve you coleslaw, chopped up finer than a bale of straw. When you crunch and gnaw, a bunch of coleslaw keeps you chewing like a cross.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Slawcast with your host Noah Lynch. I am Noah Lynch. I'm the two-time Pulitzer Prize winner in the category of side dish nonfiction, four-time Coleslaw Reviewer of the Year by Time Magazine, 30 Under 30 Coleslaw Media Luminary, and the host of the #1 Coleslaw Advice podcast on the internet. Now, I thought it kind of appropriate on the show today to kind of do a holiday special. Now, in my family and currently to this day and all growing up, we always celebrated Christmas, but I know we got listeners that celebrate anything from Hanukkah to Kwanzaa to Sacagawea to Aunt Jemima, whatever you do. I mean, I think one thing we can all agree on, the true reason for the season, this holiday season, is to appreciate family and to not necessarily get involved in the material side of things, but just be thankful for everything we've got and how lucky we are to have what we do have. And along with that is celebrate some really good food, and particularly some coleslaw. That's what I'm going to be celebrating anyway. So we had a question that came in, and I thought, you know what, it's kind of perfect for this holiday episode. I can kind of sit here and explain some things and stories from my Christmas past and all the years that have gone by, including stories plenty about coleslaw, I'm sure. And just kind of have really the first holiday special we've ever had on the Slawcast. So in a lot of ways, we're kind of doing something really special here, and I'm really excited for it. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the call. I have listened to this beforehand, just because I didn't want to cater this towards the holiday season. So y'all will forgive me, I'm sure, for listening beforehand. So this isn't going to be my raw reaction. I have thought about this a little bit. I have some notes here, but I still think it's going to be a pretty good episode, and we'll get right into it. So here's the call. Hey Noah, it's your #1 fan, Wesley Doschenhauser, just calling in to ask what you think the best coleslaw would be to bring to a family get-together over the holidays. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you, Wesley Doschenhauser, for calling in and asking about this. There's a lot of things I could go into with this as far as a holiday slaw goes. Here's the thing, and just to get it off the bat for those of you who just want a straight up answer and not really much of the explanation I'm going to give, is I think really for a holiday slaw, you just got to think down to the basics, really. I mean, the holiday shouldn't change what you're making. Here's my opinion on it. Like some people will go out and they'll think, hey, it's a Christmas dish, so I got to add some sort of, sugar and spice into it or something. I don't believe in that, man. I really think that a good slaw will stand on its own no matter where, or I should say when you serve it. I think the reason for this season, no matter what you celebrate by name, we're all doing the same thing, is we're celebrating family, and to celebrate family and to give your family a good meal that's going to be fun and exciting for everyone, especially when it comes to coleslaw. I think you just get a good solid coleslaw and you stick with that, man, and you leave the Christmas to the conversation and the celebration of family, and you don't really try and do anything too fancy with coleslaw. I've said this before in not recent episodes, but in past episodes. People try and get really fancy with their coleslaw, and I don't see a point to it. I mean, coleslaw's been around for thousands and thousands. Some people theorize even millions of years now. We don't need to get fancy with it. It's a formula that's been made and tested over generations and generations. So anyway, I would just say the basic answer for you, Wes or Wesley, whatever you prefer to be called, is that I wouldn't do anything different or fancy. I would stick to a good coleslaw. I would bring that, and then I would focus on the family aspect of it. Now, with that being said, if you are going to try and get fancy and add something a little bit into it, I'd go with, maybe experiment with some noodles. I mean, I've seen noodles in coleslaw before, and I'm not talking about linguine cooked up nice to perfection. I'm talking about you get yourself a package of ramen noodles, and you crunch those up, and then in a Ziploc bag or something, and then you pour those in. They add a little bit of crunch and some nice texture to your slaw. I've actually reviewed a coleslaw with that in it before, and that's where I got this idea from. Personally, I've not tried that on my own yet, but that's something to think about. Maybe adding in some raisins, some kind of fruit, add some sweetness, some natural sweetness into it. Maybe just a little dash of sugar if you're really feeling like you need to jazz it up a little bit. But on the whole, I would stay with your tried and true. Whatever your best coleslaw foot forward you can give, that's what I would give in this situation, to be honest with you. So now, I just want to give the experience of my first coleslaw experience on Christmas. Now, in my family, I don't think this will be a surprise to much people. Coleslaw is one of the major food groups at Christmas. I mean, we've got all different kinds of slaws coming in. I mean, vinegar-based slaws, creamy slaws. We don't even have a main meat like a ham or anything anymore. We just have a coleslaw that has ham in it for our main protein of the meal. That's how my family goes. Now, that's a little wild if you ask me. For sure, that's not going to be for everyone, but that's just kind of how we do things. So now to go back to a story from my childhood and Christmas celebrations, especially dealing with coleslaw. Some would say probably the most important Christmas of my childhood growing up. It kind of got me started on coleslaw. It was actually the first time that coleslaw was introduced to the equation on the dinner table for my family during a Christmas celebration. So if you can think back, the year's 1986. Dale Earnhardt Sr. is in the prime of his career. He had just replaced the great Ricky Rudd in the number 3 car and won his second career Winston Cup. And I think it goes without saying, but rest in peace, the late and great Dale Earnhardt Sr. Go fast in heaven, buddy. But like I was saying earlier, this was the first time that during a Christmas celebration during the holiday season, coleslaw had been introduced to the table. And at first it was kind of weird and I don't want to say that I was discriminatory towards the side salad at the time, but times have changed, and back then it was okay to just say, I'm not going to eat this side salad because I don't like the way it looks. It's a little different and I don't like that. I wish I could take that back now, but it was a different time back then. That's what I'll say about it anyway. My family kind of had sort of the same opinion that I did, and I don't actually remember who ended up bringing that coleslaw dish to the dinner itself. I don't know if it was Aunt Susie or, Uncle Tom, whoever it was. They brought it really, I'm sure, just on a whim, not really thinking. And then I remember cleaning up afterwards, helping my dad clean up all the, the dishes and everything like that. All the other family was in the living area, conversating, exchanging gifts, doing whatever you do, on Christmas, and we were cleaning up, and I saw that bowl of coleslaw completely untouched by my family, and I thought, maybe there's something here. I don't like to put any kind of food to waste, especially slaw. I mean, even at the time, I respected the dish enough to know that it was good enough to save, so plastic wrap over it and kind of shove it into the fridge and see what happened. But just before I did, I took a spoon and I just took a little bit of a taste, just off the top, nice and crisp. I can't remember the exact slaw that it was. I'll be honest with you, it's been so long ago and I've had so many coleslaws in between. But I kind of experienced for the first time the magic of Christmas coleslaw. I mean, it was an accident. I wasn't really expecting it, but everyone knows what it's like to eat coleslaw on a normal day. I mean, a lot of people compare it to popping a Quaalude and taking a double shot of tequila. It's just kind of a relaxing experience. You feel warm. You feel enveloped by the magic of the coleslaw itself. But when you do it on Christmas and you've got the Christmas spirit mixed in, man, it's a completely different experience. And for me at the time, it completely ignited my love for coleslaw. I mean, I'd had it before then. I've told you stories about Christmases before, not eating coleslaw, but how I used to be involved with different kind of side salads and stuff. And then, man, once I tried this coleslaw, this slaw on Christmas, it might have been the ingredients. It might have been just the moment. I don't know what happened. It just, sometimes in life, you just have those moments that just click with your brain, and it was incredible. And ever since, I've been in love with coleslaw, as y'all know. So that was the story of my first time experiencing Christmas coleslaw. I hope y'all get to experience some Christmas coleslaw this year. That's my real wish for all of you and my wish for the holiday season. If not, have a great time with your family, hang out. Just sit back and really try and be thankful for all that you've got when it comes to coleslaw or when it comes to family. So There's not going to be any advertisement on this episode of the Slawcast. It's a holiday special. I didn't think it was very appropriate. So y'all have a good Christmas, a good holiday, good Kwanzaa, good Hanukkah, whatever you want to do, man. Just have a good time and eat some coleslaw for me. That was the Slawcast. I'm Noah Lynch. Till next time, I'll slaw you later.
No bread, no meat, no potatoes, and nothing that's sweet. All I want is a lot of coleslaw.
Best brewing company south of the Mississippi. Out here in the country. Can you hear the space heater in the background? This is a test. Yes, it is. Oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore. This is so stupid. So just to go back to the story from my childhood and Christmas, especially doing with coleslaw. Doing with coleslaw, what does that even mean?